Greetings, friend. Welcome to another message from the wilderness. It's really good to be speaking with you again. This is another in our series called Passages, where we look in the New Testament at what the Spirit tells us about faith, love, and good works. We're going to be in Luke, the 10th chapter, 36th and the 37th verses. Now, this is the end of a larger passage from the 25th verse to the 37th verse concerning the Good Samaritan. I trust that you are familiar with the story of the Good Samaritan. If you're not, you might want to pause this and go back and right now read Luke 10:25 through 37. Just to summarize this, though, we had Jesus being asked the question, "What must I do to inherit eternal life?" That's a question that I think we're all interested in, and the answer. And Jesus didn't answer it immediately, but he said, "What do you think?" And the man, who obviously had been listening to Jesus, said, "We are to love God, and we are to love our neighbor as ourselves." And Jesus said, "That's right. Go do that, and you will live." But then, to complicate matters and to be a human being, I guess, this guy wanted to put a finer point on it, which is often what we as human beings want to do. Just how much do I have to do? What is the least that I can do? So he asked the question to Jesus, "Well, who is my neighbor?" Well, Jesus told a parable that didn't exactly answer the man's question, but he turned the information on the man, as you will see, when he tells of someone who was set upon by robbers who beat him and left him for dead at the side of the road. Well, here comes down the road a priest. And I'm sure his listeners were thinking, well, good. But no, the priest went over on the other side of the road and walked right on by. Why? Well, we could speculate, but we won't. But we know that he did. And then here comes a Levite, another religious type of the day. You might think, well, the Levite will help. He did not. Once again, he went to the other side of the street, the road, and kept right on going. Well, then here comes a Samaritan. And Samaritans were very much disliked, possibly hated, by the average Jew. And we won't go into why that was, but just believe me that that was the case, and this is why Jesus uses a Samaritan here as the one who actually stops, actually cares about this man who was probably a Jew. He binds up his wounds, he puts oil and wine and does the first aid that he can do there, and then he puts him on his animal and takes him into town and leaves him in a place that he can receive more care and recover, and pays the innkeeper there where he's leaving this man, and says, if he needs anything else, I'll pay for it when I come back. Now, this is just an amazing thing. Just think about this and what it might imply with our lives and what we do and what we think. And so then Jesus asked the question, who proved to be neighbor to this man who had fallen among robbers? Well, this wasn't the question exactly, because the man had asked, who is my neighbor? But Jesus says, who was neighbor to this man? And the one who had been asked said, well, I guess he who showed mercy on him. Yes. But Jesus didn't say that's the neighbor. What he said was, you go out and do the same. That puts the responsibility on us to be a neighbor, and that is someone who is going to love the other and to help them if they need help. So this is a wonderful look into Jesus' thought, and this is what he wants us to do today. If we want to love God, we must love our neighbor as ourselves and show this love and demonstrate this love, because this love is the love of God. I will say goodbye for this time, but reread the story of the Good Samaritan if you haven't read it in a while, and look at all of the emphasis on what is done and what should be done. It's a wonderful parable, and it helps us to better understand what later scriptures in the New Testament will show is to be our life, that we are willing to even lay down our lives for others. Goodbye for now. Hope to speak with you again very soon.